What's up, people? Back once again in the building. It's your boy, Connoisseur Big U, and I'm here with another episode of the Open Bar Sports Talk, where we give you the sports, mostly basketball, from a New York point of view. Man, I came last time to you guys celebrating the first, the only so far Knick win. And my guys ain't been looking good since. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but you know, as you can see, I'm still repping that New York Knicks. I'm gonna keep repping it. I ain't gonna switch up on my boys, and I ain't gonna say nothing to them. We got 2 more games to go till we get to that 10th game, where I'm gonna give my in-depth synopsis on what I think is going wrong with the team, the few things that I think are going right with the team, and things that I think they need to do to get it all together and get it going the right way. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Drinks, conversation, the laughs, the tomfoolishness is, as always, on the house. Okay, so we did have some positives in this game, this fiasco that I just finished watching. The New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons, the Blake Griffin-less Detroit Pistons, the Reggie Jackson-less Detroit Pistons, the undermanned Derrick Rose-less Detroit Pistons, where I figured we could have came out and put up a fight. I think we was more on the turn the other cheek. I was looking for some Malcolm X. I got a little bit of Martin Luther King. I got a little bit of something. We was getting hoes. We was getting beat. They sick the dogs on us. All that stuff happened during the course of this game, and I was left kind of confused because I thought we would have had a way better chance because this team was undermanned. Even though, again, as I've admitted over and over again, I don't think the Knicks are a good team. But with the efforts that I had been seeing, I figured that this, you know, you look at the schedule and you say, winnable games, this was a winnable game. Like I said, it wasn't all bad. Julius Randle did have a decent game, points-wise anyway. Scored 20 points, only had 3 rebounds, and even, I don't like the way he got the 20 points. He got the 20 points. He was, I think he was like 3 or 4 or something like that from the 3-point line, or 3 or 5 from the 3-point line. I need him to get back to playing bully basketball. It will help our team. It will fatigue the other team's players so that on offense, because we can't stop anybody. On offense, at least they may be a little more tired from trying to stop him on defense. Might do some good for the team. But he did score 20 points and get 3, count them, 1, 2, 3. Tootsie Roll Pop style. For the people that remember that back in the day. 3 rebounds, which is not Julius Randle-like at all. He had, in fact, been averaging 10 rebounds up to this point, which, even though he wasn't shooting very well, is more in his character inside his game, that 10 rebounds. 3 rebounds, I don't know what this is. We did have some Morris on Morris violence this game, because we have Marcus Morris on the Knicks, and on the Detroit Pistons, his twin brother Markieff Morris plays. I say Morris on Morris violence. That's, I guess, like a catchphrase, because in actuality, in the game, I wish that we may have played another team, because it seemed like the Morris brothers, it's too much brotherly love going on there. It was like they was coming down. Go ahead, bro. You shoot. All right, thanks, bro. When you come down, all right, you go ahead. You shoot. Oh, thanks, bro. Thanks for letting me shoot. You open. Oh, you open too. Oh, you looking good on that jump shot. You look good on that jump shot. You know why? Because you look like me. You look like me. Okay, I'm going a little too far, but it was ridiculous, people. Like, I didn't see either one of them play defense on one another at any point during the game, and it was almost like an exhibition session, which works for the Pistons if you're Markieff, because his team came out on the winning end. On the other side, Marcus Morris not really being aggressive against his brother. His brother's team didn't work out too well for us. What it ended up being was too much of two particular players. One was Andre Drummond, who was out there looking like Shaquille O'Neal, Abdul-Jabbar, Raheem Olajuwon, Luau, Sender, Bill Russ. He was looking like a combination of every great center that ever existed in the NBA. Of course, against the Knicks, not very hard, especially when Markieff Morris UFC'd Dusty Rhodes super elbowed Mitchell Robinson into a concussion and out of the game. So we had no rim protection. Can't really blame the Knicks for that, because after Mitchell Robinson, we don't really have any rim protectors. So once he left the game, we didn't really have much there. But Andre Drummond looked like the Juggernaut or some other superhuman character in the game. Got busy, 20 some odd points, like 15 rebounds, even 7 assists or something like that. He was out there, like I said, looking like the creative player from 2K. And, props to that guy. But didn't really do anything for the Knicks. The other player that really hurt us was Tony Snell, a.k.a. Black Groot. Yes, I said it. I know if you look at him for a second, you expect him to say, "I am Tony." He looked like Black Groot. But he was on fire tonight, hitting from everywhere. He couldn't be found. He couldn't be stopped. Maybe it's because he's so black. They couldn't see him against the shadows or the court or whatever. Nah, I'm just joking. But he did have a good game. We couldn't stop him. And Black Groot went for about 27 points, 25 points or something like that. Knicks couldn't find an answer for him, so he gave us some difficulty. On the Knicks side of things, we did have some plays that did put up a fight. Like I said, the Marcus Morris played pretty decent. Julius Randle was all right. Kevin Knox put in a decent shooting performance in the game. Again, I think he needs to work on his defense to make himself more viable to stay on the court. But offensive-wise, he did shoot well. And Frank Ntilikina, who played more than 30 minutes tonight, which is what I've been saying. The coach needs to get him out there, let him play, and let him pretty much exercise his demons, man. He's not going to get a chance to get any confidence if he doesn't get any time on the floor. Tonight, he played more than 30 minutes. He had 11 points on, I think, like 5 for 7 or 5 for 8 shooting. Had 4 or 5 assists, and even led the team without Mitchell Robinson with 3 blocked shots, which is, to me, outstanding. But again, that's Frank Money's lane, plays defense, gives effort. He was solid throughout the night, and he was one of the few bright spots that we did have in this game. Again, Mitchell Robinson went out with a concussion after being elbowed in the head by Markieff Morris. I guess maybe the aggression that he couldn't take out on his brother, he stored up and distributed to Mitchell Robinson and the rest of the Knicks. Hope speedy recovery. I hope this doesn't turn into something that lasts any amount of time. I'm sure that they did not insert him back in the game just to make sure that he was fine. It was precaution. And with a team this bad, there's no reason to risk a player's health by throwing him back in there when he's not 100% to possibly get hit again and get further injured. So I'm glad that they let him rest. Mitchell Robinson get well soon, and hopefully we'll see you back out in the next game. The Rook, the Maple Mamba, R.J. Barrett, played decent, did not shoot that well from the field this game. I think he was 4 for 11, which is not a high percentage, but he did fill up that stat sheet. About 14, 15 points, 7 assists, 6, 7 rebounds. He is definitely a stat sheet stuffer, and a guy that I think once he gets his game under control, to gets himself, not under control so much because he is under control, but gets himself into a more comfortable place where he knows where his successful areas are on the court, and he sticks to those areas, takes better shots, the shot selection sometimes, because he does take threes. You don't have to hit a bunch. I guess with this NBA, everybody feels like they do need to shoot a bunch of threes, but I think that if you're a guy that has what he has a big NBA body, he can get to the basket pretty easily, and he scores well in the lane, that take away some of those 3-pointers and make some forays toward the basket, and I think he will be better off. His shooting percentage would thank him for it, and I would thank him for it because I think it would help the Knicks into a better position. We even saw a Iggy Brezdeikis sighting. And I know this is somebody that I used to complain. I did complain a couple of times in past videos that he didn't get any minutes. I didn't understand why. As a young guy on a team that is, again, not that good, and this is from, I'm a fan. The Knicks are not that good. Why wouldn't you play all your young guys? So either you're decent and you're trying to win, or you are developing your young talent. He is definitely young talent, and he did see the floor tonight. Unfortunately, it was only for about 5 minutes. I think they need to give more minutes to him, get him in the game, let him get his feet wet, and I think that he would be able to produce, in some way, shape, or form, because he's skilled both sides of the ball. He has the effort and the it factor. He seems to be able to produce. He is not afraid. He doesn't shy away from the lights of playing on the big stage for the New York Knicks. And I think that if he got more minutes, he could be productive. So we'll see moving forward if Fizdale likes what he saw in the small sample space of time that he did see, and see if he lets him play. So we did see Iggy Brezdeikis. Cool, and I would like to see more of him. Okay, so this is a new, I guess, a segment that you would call that I'm adding to the sports talk show, and this is called Who's Hot and Who's Not. So on one side, I'm going to talk to you about a player that I think is playing very well, or that is playing better and getting into a space where they're about to be playing very well. And on the other side, on the Who's Not side, we're going to be talking about a player that is playing very bad at the moment, or that might have been playing a little bit better, and it seems like they are declining or going toward not playing as well as they were playing. So the two players that I'm going to talk about tonight are whom? On the hot side, we got Marcus Morris, twin. He was somebody who I spoke about in earlier videos, saying that he started off like a house on fire, but somebody must have called 911. Wyclef and Mary J. Blige came out and they put that fire out because he couldn't hit the side of a barn. But recently, in the past few games, he's picked his shooting back up and got it to a point where now he's averaging about 18 points a game, and he's shooting almost 50% from the three-point range, which is phenomenal in this 3-and-D NBA. So shout to Marcus Morris for being the hot player of this episode of Open Bar Sports Talk. Who's the not player? I'm going to have to go with Wayne Ellington. Now, this is a guy that didn't start off as a house on fire and cool off. He started off as an igloo off fire and stayed cooled off. This dude is shooting about 30% from the field, 28%, 29% from three-point range. Neither one of those numbers are impressive or acceptable from a guy who, for a few games at least, was a starter for our New York Knicks. So I know historically this guy has been a player who could knock down shots. So what I'm going to need him to do is leave the Sherm alone, because he must be smoking Sherm or getting wet with the shot selection that this man is taking. I think that he's been fooled into a false sense of confidence by Coach Fizdale starting him, a player who I do respect his game, and he's been a consistent veteran for years out of North Carolina, solid in the NBA, but he would start on no team, nowhere in the NBA. Fizdale started this man, and that set him off on a drug binge that led him into the deep back alleyways of Alphabet City, Spanish Harlem or something like that, where he was getting wet and smoking dust.
You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?
No, I'm joking. I don't. I'm only playing. I don't want no slander. I don't want to be sued by Wayne Ellington's people or anything. But he's shooting terribly, and I guess if he is a great shooter, or at least a pretty good shooter in the NBA. I don't know if I give him great because he hasn't, success, but he is a pretty good shooter in the NBA, and if I guess he stays true to his mechanics, he could go from the not hot player, maybe moving into the hot realms. So that's our Who's Hot and Who's Not segment of the Open Bar Sports Talk. Let me know what you think about the Who's Hot and Who's Not segment, and we'll see if we're going to keep it or if we should change it to something else. As always, we're trying to give you guys the best content possible, and if you like it, let us know. Leave a comment down below. If you don't, let us know why or why not. Leave a comment down below, and help us out just to shape this show, because we are trying to shape this content for you guys. And we're going to end this video where it all began. Melo! Knicks are not doing well. They're owned by James Dolan, a very rich man. I don't think Carmelo Anthony is asking for an extravagant amount of money to play basketball, even though Jim Dolan has an extravagant amount of money. So I think that he could get on the phone, call Carmelo, get him in the Knicks uniform. What would that do, you ask? Give us solid veteran presence in the locker room, a consistent, solid scorer on the floor, and an all-around great NBA player to bring people in to these games, which is, I think, is all he's concerned with, is that people come to the Garden and watch the games, and he don't care if we win, lose, draw, or otherwise. So, holla at Melo. Get him in there, man, because we need a marquee player. He's definitely that. Will be a Hall of Famer, and it'll give you guys a chance, and by you guys I mean the Knicks organization, the Knicks front office, a chance to right a wrong that they made and letting him leave, trying to tarnish his reputation. You can repair that. Get him back on the team, get him back in the Garden, back in New York where he belongs. He's a native New Yorker, and let Melo go out, the way he should go out, as one of the best Knicks of all time, respected, retired at Jersey, do all of that kind of stuff, Make the move, make the call, somebody got to be the bigger person. And usually the bigger person is the one with the bigger purse. James Dolan, all those guys. Make that move. But as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me for a while, shooting the shit, talking basketball and these New York Knicks. We got a long way to go. Couple games till that 10th game to let you guys know just how long I think we got to go. But as always, because we can, many cannot. Drinks, conversation, sports talk, and all that kind of stuff is on the house. See you in the next episode. Peace.